This is Miracle Healings, and I am Leslie Williams. And if you are someone that is going through a very hard time right now because you had some serious injury or some thing that is making you ask yourself if life is worth it, if it's worth it to be in this planet, if you are someone that is disabled or have any kind of really physical issues that are at the moment making you feel totally hopeless, or even if you are someone that already went through and was able to recover from a serious injury or even a disease or any kind of really challenge physical issues, today's podcast is for you because I have with me the amazing and the superhero Jaikishaan Sharma. Welcome.
Thanks, Leslie. Thanks a lot. Thanks for giving
You
me
are a superhero, Jackie. It's unbelievable. It's beyond a miracle, and I'm so happy to have this opportunity to share your story, because a lot of people will get so inspired by your beauty, your wisdom, and everything that, and how you were able to handle everything that you went through.
yeah. And I think everyone is a superhuman. Everyone has got that power, that self belief, but it's just that they need a pushback. They need like someone needs to push them forward or give them a kick that hey, you are breathing, and you
Yeah.
have such a beautiful life to look forward to. So do not question your beliefs, do not question yourself. So
Yeah.
I think we all are capable of everything what we want in our life.
Yes. Well, you know better. You went
Right.
for a very heavy test.
And this is what I realized, that when people start understanding the true meaning of life when they experience death. you know But my advice to everyone is that you do not have to experience death to start living your life. You know, you do not
how
have to. Yeah.
how you found out that,
How I
how you found it in yourself.
because I have gone through those journey. Where I was being pushed down the drain, and I was not breathing. I was choked over here. I was like, this is I don't want this. I don't want this. This is the death, and I don't want to experience the death. Because I have a beautiful family which is looking after me, and and I'm going to I'm everything to them, and they are everything to me. So I think people need to understand that they need to prioritize them, and self love is the gold mine of love. you know so yeah, and when you understand that everything looks beautiful in this world.
It definitely is. So your story started back in 2014,
15, yeah.
15.
15, yeah. Actually, it started way back. If I want to give you a proper, the journey, actually, it all started with my depression and anxiety and all. And I think that was because of my financial pressure and my job. Because see, we are into an uncertain world. And as we have already experienced 2020, where people got through a hell, and they had to suffer finance, physical, mental, and everything. And that's exactly what I was going through, because I'm a migrant. I came from India as a student in 2007. I did my studies, I did everything right. And I got a good job, and then I changed a job. My first job was good, but I changed another one, and there all this problem started. Because
Then
I
that triggers the problems to start.
yeah. So that started triggering the problem in me, and with because I was more capable than what I was doing, in the job. but the people, those who hired me, they promised me a lot of things which was not being fulfilled, and I was taking that on me. And by then I was married, so I had a responsibility. And the worst part is that as a migrant, I am alone here in Australia. I don't have my close family. My mom and my sister is in India. So I only had the friends, those who themselves were migrant, so they were also trying to build their life in Australia. So I started taking that in on me, and I was not able to focus on the important part of my life, which is living the life and looking after the wife.
So you were basically dominated by what was happening outside, meaning
Exactly
your
right.
job. You were
Exactly right.
allowing your job to control your life, and then you
Exactly
start to
right.
get depressed.
Yeah. And that's why now, after 5 years, I realized that job security is just an illusion, and it doesn't secure your future. So everyone, those who are out there working 9 to 5, I will let them know that just do something for yourself instead of building someone else's empire. So, and then in 2015, I bought a house, okay, and where I'm living right now, that was my first house. In 2015, August, we had a baby girl. She is 5-year-old now, Prisha. And then in October, on the 11th of October, my employer asked me that, Jackie, we don't want you anymore, because we are thinking of going out of the business. And so we are just, going through people, those who can stay with us for next couple of months.
And that
So
was the same job that had
yes,
caused
same
the
job. Yes, exactly right.
Mhm.
So and then the burden started getting heavy, on me,
Mhm.
because now I had a responsibility of a baby girl and a house. I had a mortgage where I had to pay mortgage, every month, and then I was like, what I will do? I don't have any option. So same day on the 11th, I started making calls to my friends, and, that I need a job. I need to get into the job. If you have anyone, please let me know. And then on the 11th, one of my friend told me, you come down to my office, we'll have a chat. Then on the 12th of October, I was just going to meet him in his office, and I was hit by an accident. I made into an accident, and and that was also my fault because I was not paying attention while I was crossing the road, you know, and I
Because
had
your
to.
mind were
Yeah,
outside.
yeah. I was going through a lot of chaos in my mind. I had a lot of thoughts going through how the future will look,
Right.
and how I'm going to survive, because the job market in Australia is not as good, as it was before, because now everyone is started outsourcing to other countries, like Philippines, India, and all. So I was like, if I will not get a job, because and the worst part was that we were coming towards the Christmas. It all happened in October, during the period of Christmas, it's very hard to find jobs. Uh,
So your mind was totally outside, totally
yeah,
disconnected from you. You
yes,
were
yeah,
disconnected from yourself
yeah,
to a point that you had the accident.
yeah. So I was like, and then I got hit by the accident, and then I went to the hospital, and then they told I had a knee fracture. Okay, so that's how it all started. I got a knee fracture. Nobody was focusing on where the problem is. They put the cast on my knee, and they asked me to that you need to be bed on the bed for next 8 weeks, to heal the knee, and then you will be fine. So I was on rest for 8 weeks. I got back on my feet, but then my legs started shivering, after I got out of that knee injury. And I started getting a lot of water retention in my leg, and it started swelling. And then when I used to walk, I used to fall down, you know.
Yeah.
And there were incidents then where I went for another interview and I just got out of the elevator and I was on the floor, boom, you know. And
You
then
had no pain?
there was no pain at all, you know. I
Wow.
was not feeling any pain. I just used to walk and fall down, you know. And I used to shake, my legs used to shake like this, you know, where like it's an earthquake going on in your body, you know.
Yeah.
And then I fall down there, and then I came home. I told my wife that there is something wrong, which is not feeling right, you know. And
Mhm.
I think we should need to go and consult with the GP.
Yeah.
So we went to the GP next morning, and GP said, no, it's because you had a knee problem and or knee fracture, and you were resting, you were not mobilized. That's why the water retention is there. So I'll give you some prescriptions. You take it, and it would be fine. So
Mhm.
I took that. It was few weeks, and then I was having a dinner, and then I just stood up after the dinner, and I was on the floor. Boom, again.
Again.
And that moment, I lost my sensation and movement below my tummy. So I was trying to get up, but I was not able to. You
And
know.
how long it was after you had the accident?
So it was December. In December.
Oh, 2 months. Okay.
Yeah. So and then I fall down, and I was trying to get up, and I was not. And I called my wife, and she was trying to pull me up, you know, and she was trying to pick me up, but she was not able to do that because by herself. And you know that moment, I'm just sorry
You are a beautiful man, a beautiful soul.
because you know I can still see those flashbacks. You know, I know how she did it.
Yeah.
You won't believe she dragged me. We did everything. She put a blanket on the floor. She rolled me
So
on the
she was
blanket.
able to.
Yeah, just to pick me up and put me on the sofa, on the couch, or on the bed. You know.
So how is
So
that? So when she was another hero, because this is the power of human beings.
yeah,
She was able to take care of you in that moment.
she did. She because and that moment, and though those flashbacks, this setbacks,
Mhm.
that's when I got out of the wheelchair, Leslie. I wrote one quote, okay, and it goes like this: do not fade your bad memories,
Mhm.
okay, because those bad memories can help you repaint a success story for yourself.
Right.
You know, I
Right.
have, you won't believe, I still have my wheelchair with me. Okay. The reason I have a wheelchair with me is because that reminds me where I have come from.
Right.
That reconnects me with my internal world, that you have achieved a lot in last 4 or 5 years, Jackie. You know, and if you have got out of that darkness, you can conquer anything in this world. You know,
Yes.
so
The darkness were necessary for you
and
to be here today.
darkness can bring power sometime.
Yes,
I don't know
exactly.
why. I don't know why. If you see normally when you talk about your darkness, your bad phase,
Mhm.
people will advise you that, hey, forget about it. Forget
Yeah.
about it. But I advise people, no, you should never forget your darkness.
Yes.
Never ever. You should hold them. Sometimes you should hold them in your memories. Sometimes you should have some peace, physical peace out of it. Like I have a wheelchair with me.
Yeah. And
So
so, yeah, go ahead.
yeah. So coming back to that day,
Uh-huh.
somehow we got into the bedroom. She rolled me like 10, 20 times, put me on the blanket, out of the blanket, on the blanket, and then somehow she pulled me to the bedroom. And then
And that moment you didn't have any sensibility in your
no,
life?
I
Nothing?
lost, I lost that moment. I lost all because she was holding my legs, and I was like, Rashmi, I can't feel your hand on my feet, and she was telling me, move your feet. I was like, no, I can't move, I'm not able to move them. I was not able to move my toes. I was like, so we need to call. And then she called uh, my GP and family doctor, and he's like that. Okay, I'll book the ambulance. You go straight to the emergency, and they will check you out. But it was night, so the ambulance only can be possible next morning 10 a.m. So I had to wait for whole night, and then next morning the ambulance came. They took me to the nearest hospital, but that was full. So they took me to the next one in the city, Melbourne City. And over there, they did all the MRI, CT scans and everything. And then they found out finally that there on my spine, there is a nerve which was connected through the brain to all the organs and all the
Right.
systems. It has been severely damaged.
The nerve.
And yeah, and it's been damaged since more than 2-3 months, So, and because of that, it has stopped sending the signals below the tummy, and that's the reason. And they told me that they have to operate it straight away because I'm young. So they told me that, Jackie, you are young, okay? So we want to operate it straight away, so we can have chances, you can go back on your feet.
Right.
So they told me that we will do it tomorrow or this tonight at 7 p.m. And that I was on the bed, and I was looking at my wife, and she was looking at me. She was crying, and I was trying to hold myself. I was like, how I'm going to tell my mom, how am I going to tell my sister that this is what I'm going. So far, they didn't knew what I was going through,
Right.
And then finally, my wife called and told my mom, this is what happened. And then my mom started crying. And when I was on the video call on the WhatsApp, and when I saw her crying, I started crying, and everything was getting onto me. And that moment I was like, what is there for me? This is not my destiny. What is going on? And then that moment I started going into the flashbacks that, have I done something wrong?
Right.
Have I hurt someone, or I have
Right.
steal someone's money? Because I'm from India, so the Indian custom and Indian religion teaches you that karma is the big thing,
Right.
and it's a cycle. And if you do something bad with someone, it will going to come back.
Right.
Okay. And
so
then
all those thoughts, automatic thoughts, negative thoughts, all that started to bombard your mind right before you get into surgery.
Yes, right before the surgery. Yeah. So I was like, I don't know what's going on. And then the main doctors came, because they have to do the forms and everything, consent and everything. So they have to take the consent. So they came in and they said, Jackie, before you sign this, we just want to let you know that there is only 5 or 10% chance that you might going to walk again, because the nerve has been severely damaged. Okay. But we will try our best. But we will advise you to go for the surgery. But the end, it's your, call if you want to do it or not, but we will advise you to go for. I was like, I have no one else to ask, so I have no other options. I have to take this call, and I have to say yes, because if I will do it or not, I'm still going to be in the worst condition, because I don't know what is stored for me in future after the surgery. So they did the surgery for 10 hours on that day. I was in the operation theater for almost 10 hours. And that's what my wife tells me, that it was more than 10 hours, close to 11, 12 hours. And she was there with my baby girl in the hospital. and I got in my sense after 2 days, and
You woke up after 2 days.
yeah, yeah, and
And how was that moment when you woke up?
I was say I was going through the same thoughts. The first thing when I got up, I saw my wife and my daughter, and I just started crying, and she started crying, and I was like, everything will be fine. Let's see how it goes. And the beautiful part is that when I got out of that operation, and when I got in my senses, and I was in the intensive care, the
Uh-huh.
people around me, they were in worse condition, but they had smile on their face, and that was amazing. There was one lady who flew down from the countryside of Victoria, um,
Right.
and she has to come down every, I think, 6 or 8 months to for some transplant,
Uh-huh.
and and she was so happy. She was like, and she was in pain every second. I can see that, and she was narrating me all her ups and downs because she was totally paralyzed, below her neck. So she used to be on that wheelchair, which wheelchairs goes up and down, you know, that kind of a wheelchair she was on. So
Right.
I was like, see, the people, they are good people. So I made good friends there, uh,
Mhm.
when I was there.
So that was a very important support for you at that moment.
Exactly right. Because see, when you go through setbacks and darkness, you
Yeah.
look for people, those who have gone through the same situation, and
Yes.
then you get motivated from them that, hey, I am still in a better position. See them, they are
Right.
going through a lot. So that's how you uplift yourself from the darkness, and that's exactly what I was looking for. And then they gave me a wheelchair. I was there for like 4 months in the intensive care. They
Mhm.
gave me a wheelchair, so they used to hoist me, and they used to put me on the wheelchair. So I used to just roam around and talk to people, and that's what I love, Leslie. That's what I love. I love talking. Okay, and I love to connect with people, and that's what I have realized that the best gift we have as a human, that
Mhm.
we are a social animal, you know
Yes.
and yeah, the more, see what happened in 2020 when we were not able to go out and communicate and meet friends and family. you know we had such a setback that people were going crazy mentally,
Yeah.
and yeah, so that's the reason we are social animal. If we do not socialize, we do not communicate
Yeah.
with other people, we will not going to go
Yeah.
anywhere.
Isolation is never good.
Exactly right.
Isolation leads to a lot of issues.
Exactly
Right.
right.
And I'm
And
so happy for you that you were in that little beautiful community of
yeah,
beautiful human beings who were together with you, and the way you all um, face the situation that you were
yeah,
living as a
exactly.
gift,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Because he was, as you were saying, if this lady was capable to smile in
yeah,
such uh, uh, incredible,
yeah.
hard and situation,
Exactly right.
wow,
Exactly right.
amazing.
But I didn't knew that I'm waiting. I'm going to go. I'm going to have another setback.
Hmm.
I was started accepting that, okay, this is my life now when I was in the hospital, because after 4 months of my intensive care, I was being moved into rehab for 3 months. So I
Oh,
was in rehab. Okay, so I started accepting, okay, this is my life. Let's adjust into that.
right.
But the story starts again when they let me go, and they asked me to go home, you
Hmm.
know. And when I came home, and when I was only surrounded by my wife and my daughter, okay, that started triggering me. Then, because when I was around them, I was at least, was not giving much thoughts to my finance, much
Right.
thoughts to my future,
Yes.
much thoughts to present.
Yeah,
But when
because
I came home,
your
I,
thoughts need to be concentrated in your recovery and the
exactly right,
situation that you were living.
exactly right. But when I came home, I started putting thoughts towards those important part of the life, finance,
Right.
and how you're going to survive, and how you going to spend quality time with your loved ones. And then I started going into the depression and anxiety, and I started cutting myself with my wife and my mom, my sister, my friends, family, you know with my friends especially in Australia. I totally cut off. I never called them. I never spoke to them. If somebody calls, then I used to just say that I'm not feeling well, I don't want to talk.
Right.
And then I started cutting myself, and it started building inside me. It started accumulating uh, in a, what I can say, in a fireball that, okay, it's going to burst one day,
Uh-huh.
and
All that density.
yeah, exactly.
Mhm.
And then I was into severe depression, and then my wife took me to the same GP, and my wife told him that he's behaving weird because he's in his bedroom on the wheelchair or on the bed, and he doesn't talk, doesn't eat food on time, and he just talks to himself. And then my doctor put me on a mental health care plan, and then they put me on a prescription for anxiety and depression and all. And then I used to was I because I used to get, because as a man, okay, as we say that we are masculine, and we are the men's are the ones, those who
Yeah.
take care of the
The
family,
providers.
yeah, provider and all. I
Mhm.
think that started coming towards me, and I was like,
Right.
if I can't do that, then I am not worth to breathe.
Right.
I
You were putting all the pressure of the culture, all the beliefs that the
yes,
society and culture that believe that men have
yeah,
to be the providers
exactly
in
right.
yourself
Yeah,
and
and by
just
that time,
driving yourself crazy,
yeah,
basically.
exactly. And my wife was out of work as well when in 2015, because of my baby girl, because when we had a
Right.
baby girl and when she was expecting, she already left the job, and so there was no financial support at all. So my mom, when she got to know about the finance and all, my mom was paying the mortgage from India. So every month she used to put the money into my home loan, and she was paying the mortgage. And then in 2016, my wife started some work from home. She started doing some dressmaking and all from home, so
Mhm.
to support the grocery and all, bills and everything.
Right.
And then when I had that masculine thoughts and providing, men are the providers and all that, all those thoughts, I started punching walls. I used to get angry, and
Mhm. Yeah, because the thoughts were leading to the emotion of anger.
exactly right, exactly right. And that's what the thoughts, and I will come to that part when we talk about the mindset, because I
Mhm.
have gone deep into that. Um, and then after I started punching the walls, there was one day I was sitting in my drawing room and watching TV on my wheelchair. I was there, and I saw my baby girl playing on the floor. And by that time, she was 8 months, 10 months old. And
Mhm.
then she looked at me and she gave me sometimes you get sign from the god or some divine.
Right.
Absolutely, yeah. I think that was the smile, the smile which I saw.
Was that the
Uh,
breakthrough?
yeah, that triggered a point. I was like, Jackie. And then when I saw that smile, I went back to that first day of my first day in the hospital,
Uh-huh.
when doctor asked me to sign the paperwork and told me that you got 5 or 10% chance,
Oh, yeah.
then I told myself, Jackie, you need to change that 5% into 500%. You
Oh,
know,
I love
so
it.
this is not your life. This is not your destiny. And do
That's
you really want to?
beautiful. So when you had that thought, do you remember being taken by a boost of energy, or what was the
Yeah,
sensation?
yeah. I was literally. I'm sweating right now. While talking, because I can still feel that energy, because I hold my wheelchair and I was like, I'm going to stand up now, now at this moment.
Wow.
That's what I was feeling. And I said that, Jackie, do you really want to regret all your life that you didn't took up that 5% and just sat there on the wheelchair and just lived your life as it is? Or you just want to take that 5% and change it into 500%? And
Wow.
that's exactly I did. Then I started looking everything what I can find online. People
Uh-huh.
like me, those who have come out of the odds, defy your odds, like Tony Robbins talks.
Yeah.
So, and I
Against
talk about
all odds, they heal
odds. Yeah,
themselves,
yeah, yeah,
like yourself.
yeah. So I started, finding out a lot of things online. I started reading books. I started buying books.
Love that.
Since I left my uni, I never read a book. I only
Oh,
read, I only read books when I was in uni. I was studying. I was doing my masters.
right.
But when I started getting into a different zone, I started reading books, and then I found out. You asked me a question before that: who impacted, on my
Yes.
life? Who inspired me?
Yeah.
So one, I already gave you a one. I already gave you the one reason why I got inspired, because of that smile on my
Yeah.
baby girl. But
Love
there are
that.
other two people, those who played an important part in my life, whom I never met, okay, whom I have never spoken to,
Uh-huh.
but they have contributed 100% to my life, what I'm living right now. One is Tony Robbins, okay,
Ah.
and the second is Jay Shetty.
Mm.
So I was going through YouTube and I found this guy, talking about some morning routines. I was like, who's that? And big, big T. I was like, okay, fine, let's look into that. And then he was talking about priming, okay,
Right.
how you can connect with your internal world, because we are consumed with our external world so much
Exactly. That's
that
what
we
you went through, right? You
exactly
were
right.
your awareness was outside, and then
Yeah,
your daughter with
yeah,
her purity, with her being in herself,
yes,
because
exactly.
kids are fully present in themselves all the time.
Exactly right.
She showed you. That was beautiful.
And then I will say, I wrote a lot of quotes when I was on the wheelchair. I
Mhm.
wrote a lot of phrases and all that. I will, and on this note, we are talking about the energy. So
Right.
I will say that everything what I have wrote down somewhere. Yeah. So okay, here it is. So everything that happens to us is a result of all that things that we are connected with.
Yes.
Correct? For
Beautiful.
example, for example, birds do not fly, they ride the wind. Okay? Fish do not swim, they are carried.
Yes.
Correct? So the energy, okay,
Yeah.
as Tony Robbins says, wherever the focus goes, energy
The
flows.
energy.
Yeah. And that's exactly what I started doing. And I was so inspired by that priming and all. I still do it. It's been 4 years now, I'm still doing it, because that is holding me with my true wisdom and true
Right.
purpose in life.
So what um did you have a moment that when you were discovering all that and being in that curiosity and
Yeah,
digging more information about it, and then suddenly that thought came back,
yeah,
the hopeless thought, or you have that battle moment that you were battling in between the new you that was trying to come out and the old you.
yeah, yeah. That's the reason I have a wheelchair, Leslie. You know,
Uh-huh.
you know,
Yes, you mentioned.
that's the reason I have, because we are human beings, okay?
Yes.
Okay, and we are being conditioned and we are being wired
Yeah.
since our childhood. Okay,
Yes.
and the new Jackie came
Mm-hmm.
out at the age of 35. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so those 35 years, okay, I was being conditioned, and it's not easy to get out of those mindset.
No,
Okay, it will not happen overnight or 3 years
no,
or 5 years. I
because
still, I still
we are
go through.
limiting beliefs, right?
Yeah,
And
exactly right. I through
quite deep in the subconscious mind.
Absolutely right, and that's where I'm coming from now, and that's where I'm going to mention. This is what I read. Okay, this is what,
Uh-huh.
and this talks about reticular activating system.
Mm-hmm.
It's a bunch of nerves which is connected with your brain.
Right.
Okay, and which which talks about your subconscious mind. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
now when I give you a coffee beans, okay,
Mm-hmm.
and when you smell the coffee beans,
Mm-hmm.
does your nose know how the coffee smells?
Yeah.
No, your nose doesn't know how the
Oh,
coffee
no,
smells.
there's a no. Yeah.
It's your subconscious
Mhm.
mind,
Yeah, the
who's,
subconscious mind.
yeah, who's putting the perception.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
that perception is telling you, hey, Leslie, hey, Jackie, this is how the coffee smells. you know
Exactly.
and when you start putting the right thoughts, right energy, and when you rewire your brain with your subconscious mind, and then it starts creating perception. Okay, this is right, this is wrong. And
Yes.
gradually, so when you,
Exactly. The way you start to perceive things,
yes,
having
yes,
the
yes,
right perception of the things.
absolutely right. So that's what I started doing. First, I started doing priming. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Second, I started doing affirmation. Okay. Third, I started living in a beautiful state of mind.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And how I do that every 15 minutes dancing with my daughter every morning. You know. So
Being in
this
the present moment. So
exactly,
basically, that let's say that ritual that you have with your daughter every morning
yeah,
uh, brings you back to the present moment, and reminds you that this is what saved you when you
exactly,
shift your awareness from
exactly.
outside to inside. Then your miracle healing process
Yeah.
started, right?
Because when you change your expectations with appreciation, you know
Yes.
you see the results. Yeah,
Right.
because we are always in the expectation mode.
Yeah.
That's not going to serve you. Okay,
Mhm.
but when you are in appreciation, when you are in gratitude, okay, if I ask you today, Leslie, think of three beautiful moments, okay, which you are grateful for. And when you are thinking of those three moments, will you have a sad or unhappiness on your memories? No,
Mhm.
you will not have a sadness on your face,
Mhm.
you know, because you are in a gratitude mode. And when we are in a gratitude mode, you will never have a sadness around you.
Because it's a mode of receiving
Exactly right.
and
And that,
appreciation, as you said. So you were in this mode, getting in this mode, and how was your body at that moment when you start to discover all these beautiful things and start to change your mindset,
Yeah.
how that affect your body?
Yeah. So as I said, that I started having a routine, I started
Uh-huh.
having that structure. And when you have a structure which is start, middle, and end, okay,
Right.
when you create a space, you
Mhm.
use that space to uplift yourself. And when you use that space to uplift yourself, there is no space for procrastinating, there
Mhm.
is no space for negativity. That space is only used for creativity and productivity. And that's exactly what I started doing it. I
Mhm.
was living in the gratitude every single moment. I was like, what worse can happen? Okay. What? Okay.
Mhm.
I am still breathing. My
Yeah.
wife is trying to earn money. Okay. My daughter is looking at me and smiling at me every day.
Yeah.
Okay. My mom is still paying for my mortgage. I'm still in the house. So
Mhm.
why I'm worried about tomorrow when I don't even know what is going to be tomorrow? you
Yes.
know so why don't I enjoy the present instead of worrying about the
Exactly.
future? So that's exactly what I started doing. And then
Huh?
when I used to do that meditation and priming, I used to visualize myself. Okay. And there is something I wrote yesterday.
Mhm.
Vision is beyond your eyes cannot see.
Yes.
Yeah. So vision is like because you are visualizing. So I started visualizing that I have my feet back on the floor
Oh,
and I'm
that's
walking.
that's so tell me about these visualizations.
Yeah. So I started visualizing every single day that I am walking. I am walking. I have my sensation backs. And what I
And
used to do,
how, when you started to do that, how was the what was the feeling?
I,
Every
that's
time.
I'm that's what I was coming to when I was doing the priming. So
Mhm.
there is a moment where I used to go into that divine light, and I used to put my put my hands right below right under my feet, okay,
Uh-huh.
bend down, and then I used to just bring them slowly up, and I did that for almost 2016, 17, 18, every single day.
Right.
And then you won't believe, in 2018, November, I think September, October,
Mhm.
when I was moving my my hands up on my knee, from feet to my knee, I was like, I opened my eyes and I was like, I can feel something. I can, I can feel some. And I called my wife. I was like, Rashmi, come here, come here. Can you touch me over here? And she's like, okay. And I was like, no, 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 here. Then I was like, no, I'm not feeling anything. Then I was like, can you touch just right on my toe? And then when she touched me on my toe, I was like, I can feel your hand now. And then that moment was like, oh my God. But I was still not able to move it. Then because I was doing my physio at that time. The physio used to come
Physical
home.
therapy.
Yeah. So
Right.
she used to come home and do my exercise and everything.
Mhm.
And
So after all those months of dedication, of trust, of
yeah,
confidence, and the love, you had your moment.
yeah. And then I frankly speaking, I still can't feel some part of my leg. Okay.
Uh-huh.
I'm still in the recovery mode because it takes time.
Mhm.
And but I still can't walk more than 2-3 kilometers. I get tired, I get stiff. you know
Right.
but I'm grateful that
You can walk 3 kilometers.
yeah,
Oh
sorry.
my God.
So I'm still at least back on my feet, and I'm able to go out for shopping with my daughter, spend
Mhm.
quality time. I take her to the garden, play with her. I can lift her sometime. I can't
You
lift her
drive?
now. I don't know. I don't drive. No.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So
Because
you're
I
walking.
can't sit for long. Yeah. So, yeah. But
So
I
when
walk.
you were when you after that moment, what happened? So you
Yeah. So
You
after
felt the
that,
touch of your wife in your toe, and then what happened?
yeah. So after that moment, I straight away called my GP and I was like, "Hey, I want to come down and meet you, because I
Uh,
want to show you something." So when they need to find out the sensations of your part of your body, they use needle and cotton.
uh-huh.
So he first he put a cotton on my leg, and
Right,
then he asked me that, can you feel this? And then he used to put needle, like a pinch of needle,
right.
and just to make sure that I can feel the pain or not.
Mhm.
So some part I started feeling it and some part not. So he's like, Jackie, this is good, this is very good that it's coming back. So it's in the recovery mode. What we will do is now we will put you in a hydro exercise, water exercise, which you
Wow.
can do in the pool, you know.
Right.
So they straight away put me on that. After 2 days, I started doing that, and then I started moving my. So it started with toe. So I started moving my toe,
Uh-huh.
all my 10 toes, and then slowly, I started moving
And
my
you were
feet.
still keeping with those exercises, kind of
Yes, yes,
meditation
yes,
every day?
yes. I'm still doing those exercises today as well. I'm doing those meditation, affirmation, and priming today as well. And I think
You
I'm
kept
going
doing it. It was like every day. It was your
every
ritual every day you were doing
every
it.
every day, because repetition is the mother of mastery, as
Yes.
Tony Robbins says. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm doing. So I do not want to stop
And
that.
what do you think that kept you going and going and going and going? What was the feel? What was, that was pushing you? What was that?
I think it's
Faith, was love, was something to live for? What was that?
the purpose and my wisdom. The in 2000, and when I got into this mode, the mode of mindset, the mode of appreciation, the mode of gratitude, the mode of positivity, motivation.
Mhm.
I started a small organization where we started help homeless people, and
In the midst of
with
all the
with
recovery,
yeah, so to with my
that's
help.
beautiful, Jackie.
And so and we helped a lot of people in bushfire in Australia
Mhm.
last year as well, in 2020. So mainly we supply food,
Yeah.
and we feed homeless people and people those who are in need of
Yeah.
food,
Yeah.
and
That is
and then
love.
I realized that this is my purpose, and when you find the purpose in your life,
Yes.
there is no reason, there is no doubt you will have that you are not capable of anything.
Exactly. Because then when we find our purpose, we are totally connected to ourselves,
Exactly right. Exactly right.
totally aligned with our truth,
Absolutely
totally in passion. And then it's, as you were saying, it's just move,
smooth. Yes.
move.
Because
It's flow. And
yeah,
what a
because
beautiful purpose that you found.
and because then you start enjoying the process every day.
Yes.
You you will have a miserable life if you will not question your belief and your ideas. Okay.
Yes.
And I do not want to live a miserable life. I want to ask questions to my limiting beliefs, to
Mm.
my ideas, why I am breathing, for what I am breathing. And when you have a strong why, then you got a reason to live. People do not have a strong why. That's why they fail at business. That's
Yeah.
why they fail in life. You know,
Yeah, because it's what you did is you were able to get out of your own unconsciousness.
yeah,
and and when we are leaving automatic mode and in the beginning of your process, led by all the things that are outside, allowing the world outside to control us,
yeah,
we are completely unconsciousness and we are going in automatic mode, right?
yeah.
but
yeah,
you heal yourself
yeah,
because you connect with your own truth,
yeah,
because you looked inside of you,
yeah,
because you
yeah,
stopped to allow the world outside. No, I'm going to take responsibility and accountability for who I am, right?
yeah, yeah.
Look at this beautiful result.
Oh yeah. And that's why when I got off, and then I started doing that water exercise and all, and I started seeing the movements in my toes, my feet, you know but and then they put me on the crutches, and
Right.
the frame.
Uh-huh.
And you started using frame, I used to take 2 or 3 steps,
Hmm.
and then slowly I started taking 10 steps, 30 meters, 20 meters, 40 meters, 50 meters. And then finally I had appointment with my doctor, the one who did a surgery. And
Oh,
that
the 5% doctor.
so it was in 2019 late January. And I went there. And before that, the same guy who used to drive me from my home to the hospital, okay,
Right.
his name is Salim. He became very good friend of mine,
Uh-huh.
and I still talk to him. I wanted to surprise him, so I called him day before, and I was like, "Hey, tomorrow we need to go to the hospital. I have an appointment." So he's
Mhm.
like, "Yeah, Jackie, I will be there." And as soon as he came, I was on the wheelchair, and I drove my wheelchair next to the car. He opened the rails to go
Uh-huh.
up, and as soon as he opened it, I stood up, and and he was like, "What the hell, Jackie?" I was like, "Surprise." And he's like, "I am so happy for you." And he had tears in his eyes. I was like,
That's
"See,
beautiful.
that's the magic, when you connect." The other person can feel your pain. The other person can feel your joy,
Yeah.
your wisdom, your purpose, and everything.
Yes.
And
Because
that's
we all went through,
like,
basically, they say we all suffer, we all
yeah,
have challenge, we all cry, we all, it's the process of
it's not
healing in this planet. We need to live all these experiences to be
yeah,
able to become better.
absolutely.
And
And that's what life is. That's what life is.
yes.
But it's all about that. Do not live life. Do not, yeah, all right, okay. Do not live by default. Live by design. You know.
Yes.
So you need to design yourself. You need to design your identity. Okay, who you really are. And then we went to the hospital, and then my doctor checked everything, and I told him everything. And then I was like, I want to I want to show you something. I told him, okay, because they rushed through the appointments because they got a lot of people waiting.
Right.
So I was
Right.
like, before I go, I want to show you something you know
Right.
so I stood up and I took 4 5 steps, and he looked at me and he smiled. I was like, I did it, isn't it? He's like, this is a miracle, I'm telling you. Because, and then I told him, remember you told me I have 5%? Yeah, I know. He started smiling, and I was like, see, I did it, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so even the doctor have his beliefs at the time that you
yeah,
are
yeah,
able, and
yeah.
sometimes it's not, it's not their fault. It's just
No.
traditional medicine is a different approach,
Yeah.
and
And
sometimes
I think
people just live their lives, as you said, condition, and
and I think it's not their problem, because it's their job to prepare you for the worst.
right. Yeah.
Because if they do not want to give you a false promises that, hey, you will be fine, you will walk again, or it might take time. They need to prepare you for the worst. So when when you really face that moment, you are already ready to face it. And
Mhm.
I think that's exactly what they did with me. They told me beforehand that this is what is going to happen, or this might going to happen with you, but you need to be prepared for it.
How is the feeling to tell the doctor, show the doctor, not even tell, but
Yeah.
show him?
I showed him, and I
I
before I
love.
showed him, as soon as I stood up, I started crying. I was like, you know, and whenever I go through this journey again and again with people, beautiful people like you, it builds another wisdom, and
Yeah.
wisdom is a sort of your own ignorance,
Mhm.
and you need to realize that we all have a purpose. And that's the reason when I got out of the wheelchair, I started this online business, and that the only mission I started this online business was just to help the hardworking parents, hardworking
Mhm.
couples,
Mhm.
to be financially free, because I think 99% of the depression and anxiety comes from the financial stress,
Mhm.
you know and if
Yeah,
I
but also the financial struggles are connected to beliefs,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
That sometimes
and
hold us back.
yeah,
And
and see,
you
all
are
comes down to belief. If it's finance, if it's anything, if it's relationship,
exactly,
it
exactly.
all comes down to the belief.
Because there's so much abundance in this
Yeah,
universe.
exactly
There's
right.
opportunity for each one of us.
Yeah,
And it's just if we look outside and we see the abundance in Mother Nature and in this planet,
yeah,
we are capable to everything. Look at you.
yeah,
Look all the abundance that you attract back to you when it comes to your health.
absolutely right. And this is so great, because I think it has changed my life in all manners, because I got to be in the UPW, Unleash the Power Within. Okay.
Uh-huh.
I got to be interviewed by the Tony Robbins team in Australia, Success Resource. I got to be in a team of Jay Shetty's book launch, when he when he launched his book last year in September, Think Like a Monk. I was the part of the book launch team.
That's beautiful.
Then this year in January, I was being approached by Forbes magazine. They want to cover my story on the Forbes. So when you work towards the greatness, when you are working towards the purpose of your life,
Yeah.
you will see miracles every day,
Yeah.
because
Because then you start to manifest who you are.
exactly right, exactly right.
We attract and we manifest who we
Yeah,
are. So,
yes,
and that's exactly you start to unfold all the beauty that
yeah,
you have inside, right?
exactly.
And you
Yeah,
shift and then you brought this beautiful being, this superhero.
yeah.
Have you heard about Dr. Joe Dispenza?
Yes, Joe Dispenza. Yeah,
Yes. So
I saw his couple
your
of
story
videos of.
is very similar to
Yeah,
Joe
yeah,
Dispenza's story because he also had a spine injury and his
yeah,
was
yeah,
severe as well.
yeah.
So yeah, and he also he mentions that when we are able to create heart and brain coherence, in
Yes,
the sense that we start to feel,
yeah,
and we clean the mind,
yeah.
right? And then we connect with
Correct.
our being, the
Yeah,
true being that we are.
absolutely right.
Heal ourselves. That's what you did.
And that is very true. I have experienced that. And when you
Mhm.
connect with your real, true internal world, you know, and as we know that emotions create motions. And when you have
Exactly.
true emotions going in,
Yeah.
then when you see the true motions coming out, you
Yeah.
know, and that's exactly what I did. And I
What
think that
would you say to the people that are listening to us right now and are going through a similar time, a hard time with injury or disease or either disability? What would you tell them?
my advice to everyone will be that do not let your temporary emotions dictate your future, you know, because they are just the passing thing. If I would have stayed in those emotions which I was going through, I would have not changed my life, you know, because that emotion which I went through at that moment, you know, when I saw my daughter and
Mhm.
changed my life, that's what you need to do, you know. and you need to find out the opportunities in your life, how you can change your life. And
Yeah.
once you find, when you find the opportunity, you need to grab it, you need to evaluate, and then action. And
Mhm.
when you stay in massive action, you just keep moving forward,
Yeah.
and people, those who are in disability or on wheelchair or any kind of setbacks physically,
Yeah.
okay, we have a divine power within us, which can
Yes.
which can heal our body by itself.
Yes.
And I have realized the true power of affirmation and meditation, you
Mhm.
know and I don't know why not everyone do that. And then it again comes down to the belief,
Yeah.
the the condition we've been conditioned since our childhood.
Yeah.
And that's what I want to do. I want to condition my daughter from day one. That's why I do affirmations with her. I don't do meditations with her because she's still small. I want to wait for a couple
Oh,
of years.
you should do it because she was the one. She was the
Yeah,
sign.
but
She
she does.
was
She
the
does like
instrument.
she does affirmations and
That's
all dancing
beautiful.
and all. So yeah, and that's why once you condition
Do
your
you
brain,
believe in God, or do
I
you
do.
have any faith? Do you think that that moment when she looked at you and she smiled at you, that was a sign from God?
Yeah, that's what I said. We always get sign from somewhere. Uh, like I was listening to someone and he said your spirit animal. They talk about spirit animal.
Mhm.
So sometime it comes through your spirit animal. So your spirit animal might be a cat or a dog.
Right.
So and you can see the sign coming through those animals. You can see sign coming through some little moments, but you need to realize, you need to be aware every second of your life,
Mhm.
because you never know where the sign is coming from and
Yeah.
which moment can change your life.
Yeah.
you know
So you have faith.
I have total faith. I have
Yeah.
total faith.
How do you consider that that was something important in that moment in all
Of
this
course,
process?
of course. And that's that's what the priming is all about, coming the light, the divine light coming through the sky and going through your whole soul, your body, you
Yeah.
know and
Did
that's
you
how you
have any moments of connection with this divine being of yours and God? And do you had it? How it
yeah,
was?
I have lots of moments. i
Like,
st- I pray every morning, okay.
mhm.
And uh, and uh, the moments are like that. I step into that zone where I am in a divine power.
Presence.
I just cry. I just cry. No reason, the
Is the
tears
beauty
come
of
out from my
unconditional
eyes.
love,
Yeah.
right?
And when I stand in front of the Almighty God and I see myself standing
Yeah.
again in front of Him, I was like, what else I want? I'm
Yeah, exactly.
yeah.
Exactly. And
So
and it's just a confirmation after confirmation of this pure unconditional love, because it must be something way bigger than
yeah,
us, than this planet, to be able to give life to
yeah,
trillions and trillions and trillions of beings in this universe, and then
absolutely,
planets, right? And we
absolutely.
take for granted. We
We do.
sometimes, as you said, walking in the unconscious mode, we don't realize.
No,
And
no,
the
we do.
reason why we cannot answer the question where we came from
Yeah,
is because it's something way bigger.
yes, it
And
is.
it's there for us all the time,
Exactly,
this pure unconditional
exactly.
love.
And that's why I say that people do not have to experience the death to start living the life.
Exactly. Exactly.
So that's what people need to understand. People take, people take their health for granted. People they take their relationships for granted. People take their, life for granted. People take their mother nature for granted.
Yeah.
And when you don't respect what you got, you know, then it it will, like, as I said, karma, so
Yeah.
if you don't respect what is been given to you by the mother nature or the god, then you will going to face the consequences,
Yes.
and because we are all interrelated, as I said, it all
Exactly.
comes down to the energy around us,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know
We are trillions of cells in our bodies, so
yeah,
we are pure energy.
yeah,
And
yeah,
we have connection,
yes,
right? Do you
yes.
feel in your heart this
Yeah,
connection with God? That's
of
beautiful.
course, of course, I do every moment. Yes.
And it's such an important part of your healing.
Yeah, it
That's
is. It is. And
great.
I think after this moments and this journey, my intuitions and have become strong,
Mm-hmm.
and when I have some moments where I put a thoughts towards it, or I start thinking about it,
Right.
I get some intuitions, and which are always 100% right,
Yeah.
and I don't know, I sometimes question myself, how can I do that, and my wife even tells me that, whenever I tell her that, okay, you watch this is going to happen, or this will going to come, and that what happens, because you are so connected with your soul and that power, that it gives you that, it gives you that awakening, uh, uh, like, awakening something which in your subconscious mind, which gives you that gut feeling and the
Right.
intuition. Okay,
Yeah. Yeah, it's the knowing of the unknown.
unknown. Yeah,
We
you got me.
know, we
Exactly right.
know, we know for sure, even if it's unknown, what's
Yeah,
going to happen, what it will unfold, we know. And that's
exactly.
the beauty of being connected with your
Absolutely.
truth and following your purpose and being aligned with the
Yeah,
divine. And look at you.
absolutely right.
Oh,
Absolutely right.
Jackie, I can spend the whole day talking to you. It's
Anytime.
so beautiful. And how are you right now? How is your routine right now? Do you walk daily? How is
Yeah, so I do still do my priming and everything. The morning routine is still the same, and I walk around the house. I don't go much outside because when I go outside, I just go to the garden, which is just next to my house, and I take my daughter there for a couple of hours. That's it.
Mhm.
Sometimes, otherwise, I am home. I'm just, and I'm fortunate. I think we all are fortunate with this new app called Clubhouse, because I have connected with so many beautiful soul in
Mhm.
last couple of days, which I'm collaborating in coming months. And yeah, so my routine is like, I stay home. I work on my charity organization. We are trying to take it to the next level now.
What's
Trying
the
to
name
get
of your organization?
it's called Six Support Australia.
Hmm.
So
And has it the website?
yes, yes, we all have that, and we've been also in the news in Australia on the
Oh,
news
that's
channels
wonderful.
with our bushfire work, and
Right.
coronavirus. Last year, we did a lot of work. We did a lot of community events, supported community events in
Hmm.
Victoria, in countrysides,
Right.
and helped to them to raise money, and all that. So yeah, we doing all that, and at the same time, I spend couple of hours on my online business, where I help people, hardworking people, those who want to make shift from their 9 to 5 to online and make some money online and
That's
get to the
beautiful.
financial freedom.
Right, right.
So yeah, so that's how I spend
You
my money.
went from dark to light.
Right.
And now you're living in the light, but because you
Yes.
needed the dark to
Yes.
get to the light.
Yes.
That's beautiful. I'm so happy. Thank you
Thank you.
so much
Thank
for
you.
for your enlightenment. You're beautiful. So I'm so grateful, and I'm pretty sure that all our audience is also very grateful for everything. And
No, no,
what an example, what an inspiration. Thank you so so much for being with us today.
thank
And would you say that life is beautiful?
life is exceptional, and life is beautiful, beyond beautiful.
Yeah, I love it. Life is beyond beautiful. Thank
Life
you so
is
much.
is life is beyond beautiful, and life is all about breathing the good vibe, good energy,
Yes.
and that's it. And I really appreciate that you giving me the chance to come and share my journey with the audience. And I will just request to everyone that just believe in yourself.
Yes.
And once you start doing that, you can achieve anything in your life.
Yes.
Yeah.
Jackie,
Thanks,
thank you
Leslie.
so much. I want to give you a virtual hug. And thank you for everything. It was so beautiful.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you for joining me today. Miracle Healings can be found at www.theselfartist.com, on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. Look for Self Artists and whatever you use to listen to your podcast. And if you want to share your story with us, and you know someone that would like to share your story, please get in contact with me, Leslie Williams at theselfartist.com. Once again, thank you for listening. And don't forget, life is beautiful. See you in the next episode.